Inspection of constant contact side bearer during yard examination.
The main important role of a CCSB in wagon is to control bogie hunting, reduce car body roll, and improve curve negotiation. Bogie hunting is a lateral oscillation of bogie. When the side bearer is not making proper contact with the CCSB top liner and provides no resistance, this results in wagon hunting. Uneven tracks can cause the car body to roll back and forth, experiencing severe impact loads. The CCSB travel helps isolate the wagon body from track irregularities and dampens roll. When a wagon enters a curve, the leading bogie will elevate on one side while the trailing bogie will remain level. The wagon body goes solid on the side bearer and possibly lifts off the center pivot. The CCSB equalizes the vertical wheel loads on either side of the leading bogie. CCSB Design and Setup Height. Setup height is a vertical distance measured between the bogie bolster side bearer and the underside of the CCSB top plate. It directly affects the preload, which is a force produced when the side bearing is at the proper installed height. For example, if the setup height is too high, the bogie will have insufficient preload, which results in hunting at lower speeds. On the other hand, if the setup height is too low, the bogie will experience excessive preload, which increases the turning resistance. It is to measure with the help of inside caliper and measuring scale. The setup height must be maintained as per the center pivot and side bearer arrangement drawing of the wagon. Maintenance of proper setup height is key to proper side bearer performance. The wagon side bearer top liner must conform to IS 3885 Part 1 Grade 4 hardness of 380 to 420 BHN. Setup height is to be measured during POH or ROH after any repair or in case of replacement of CCSB. The setup height shall always be measured on a level track in an empty wagon. For inspection of CCSB during yard examining, please refer to RDSO letter on Guideline for Inspection of CCSB during yard examination dated 7th of May 2025 and RDSO Comprehensive Guideline on CCSB dated 4th of June 2024. Also, RDSO's technical pamphlet number G115. During yard examination, the following aspects shall be thoroughly checked for any defects. First, excessive scratch, grooves, or any bend restricting the sliding movement. Second, a gap between the side bearer top liner and CCSB top housing. Third, condition of housing for any crack, breakage, or deformation. Fourth, no gap or minimal gap below 5 mm between top and bottom housing of CCSB. Fifth, conditions of fastener and locking arrangement. Lastly, any other defect. The wagon should be called for attention in sick line if any of the above defects are noticed or found. The wagon shall be examined for any excessive scratches, grooves, or any bend restricting the sliding movement of the wagon body. A shining surface in elliptical shape shall normally be visible on the side bearer top liner due to continuous sliding movement between the liner and CCSB top housing. These shining surfaces are not an unusual wear. Such type of shining marks are permitted. However, side bearer top liner with excessive scratch marks or grooves restricting sliding movement between CCSB top housing and side bearer top liner should be thoroughly checked for indent or grooves not more than 2 mm. Formation of grooves can be visually checked when no parting line between the liner and CCSB top housing is visible. First, measure height between the non-worn surface adjacent to the grooved surface of the CCSB top liner and CCSB housing base using inside caliper. Check the value using the measuring scale. Now, measure height between groove surface of the CCSB top liner and CCSB housing base using inside caliper. Check the value using the measuring scale. If the difference between the measured heights is more than 2 mm, then mark the wagon sick for investigation and replacement of the liner. The wagon shall be checked for any gap between side bearer liner and CCSB top housing. As the name suggests, the CCSB is designed for continuous contact with the side bearer top liner. Any gap between the CCSB and the top liner shall be thoroughly examined for any defect in the CCSB or the loading pattern on a level track. Wagons shall be checked for any cracks, breakages or deformation in housing. Housing shall be visually examined for any crack, breakage or deformation. A wagon with any cracks or damage of side bearer shall be marked sick for thorough examination and replacement of the CCSB or housing. Wagons shall be checked for gaps between the top and bottom housing of CCSB. In normal conditions, the minimum gap between the top and bottom housing of the CCSB is 6 mm on a level track. In case there is no gap or minimal gap below 5 mm between the top and the bottom housing of CCSB, such wagons should be marked sick for thorough examination and necessary attention. Wagons shall be checked for conditions of fastener and locking arrangement. Check the condition of fastener and locking arrangement for broken, missing, bent or worn out fasteners. Wagon shall be checked for other defects. Any non-standard practices such as welding of non-standard material in place of CCSB liner or welding of any material over the CCSB top liner or welding of the CCSB top liner surface are strongly prohibited. Welding of non-standard material over the side bearer liner to maintain gap is not permitted. Excessive wear of CCSB top housing resulting in ovality of the top surface is not permitted. The CCSB housing shall be flat. Any bend of the top plate of CCSB is not permitted. Thank you.